According to a new poll from Newsweek, not Newsweek poll, Newsweek writes this article. I'll tell you who the poll is from. AOC officially leads JD Vance for the first time in 2028 election matchup. I'm sorry, what did you say, Pat? Yeah, exactly. The socialist, AOC, Democratic socialist, leads JD Vance for the first time. You know, the Republicans, oh, JD Vance is a shoo-in. Oh, it's done. Oh, really? Yeah. All right. AOC, a slight lead over JD Vance in a hypothetical 2028 matchup. AOC edges the Republican nominee 51-49. In the argument Vericite survey released on Tuesday, however, the result was within the 2.7 percent point margin of error, making the two candidates statistically tied. The poll asked voters who they would vote if the election was between the two of them. Newsweek reached out to the representatives of Vance and AOC by email to comment on the story outside of normal business hours. While neither individual has formally announced a presidential run, both have been widely tipped as potential candidates. So the poll also found that Vance was more popular among white voters, with 57% saying they would vote for him and 43% opting for Ocasio-Cortez. But she has a commanding lead with black voters, 79%, and with Hispanic voters, she's at 64%. Keep in mind, black voters, 79%, just 20 years ago was 92%. Just 10 years ago was 88%. So even 79% is not as high as it once used to be just a decade ago. So, Tom, is this a real poll, and is this something the American people should be concerned about, specifically conservatives?
Well, yes and yes. Yes, it's a real poll. It was the Argument Vericite survey, and you could say, well, there's flaws in them. Typically, over time, they haven't been perfectly accurate. Yeah, well, but you know what? Think of these polls, Pat, as directional, that it's directional. So it's a real poll, and people should be concerned about it. The other polls that are out there that have JD Vance versus the field, Vance holds his own at like 37, 39%, and the second in those polls is Gavin Newsom, like at 22%. So when you do Vance against the Democrat field, everybody goes, wow, he's way up on them. But you have to remember, everybody in those polls that's Republican is saying Vance. The Democrats are splitting their votes about everybody that's down there. And when you take off, excuse me, Gavin Newsom, then it's this. So whenever you do a head-to-head poll like this, in the midst of going into weakness in midterm, I'm not surprised by the result. However, this should be a concern for the GOP and for Vance and people, because what it means is a consolidated Democrat side right now is closer than you think and may even be a little bit ahead, because the economy and affordability and some other issues are very real. So this is something to be concerned about, and she's capable. The other thing I look at, now this is me going to go below the surface, who paid for this poll? Usually politicians pay for the polls. The pollsters just don't go out and do it. They have donors and they have sponsors of the polls. Did some people on AOC side said, let's run this? And then they run it and they go out. And I found it was odd that Newsweek said, we reached out to representatives by email outside of normal business hours. I hate it when the media does that. Oh, like I called them. We got no comment from AOC or Vance. We did send the email at midnight, so I got to be honest about that. That's such BS.
What do you mean?
Well, it's like they said we couldn't get in touch with them. Well, when did you said it? So they openly say, well, we did say send the email after business hours.
Yeah, but to be fair to them, neither one of them responded. So it's not like they sided with somebody. By the way,
but they didn't respond at midnight.
Tom, did you find out who funded the poll? I'm actually curious.
No, but I want to know who funded the poll.
How can we find out?
Usually you can find in the fine print of the polls, and looking at what's called crosstabs and the fine print, said that this poll was sponsored by the United States DNC. Usually you can see the sponsors.
Let me tell you,
ABC will ask Ipsos, say, we'd like you to do a poll.
A part of me is, the way I would do it if this was the world I was in, you know how I would do it, Tom? I would do it as a conservative and fund it, showing AOC's ahead. Are you freaking kidding me?
Light a fire.
Like, they better realize what the hell is going on. While you guys are working for ranking on influence and media and podcasts and all this stuff, the Democrats are whooping your ass. If it's just about the podcast game, then great. You're doing fine. but it's about your values and principles winning, you're losing.
If it's this close, there's a problem. That's my opinion.
Interesting. Vinny, where are you at? AOC against JD. By the way, can you play that clip by AOC, what she says? Watch this, folks. She was asked, if you guys went head-to-head, how do you think you would do against JD? Look what she says. Go for it.
Read the
reaction to, or do you think that you could beat JD Vance in a head-to-head race for president, as polling suggests, in 2028?
Listen, these polls, like 3 years out, are, they are what they are. But let the record show, I would stomp him.
Thank you, Congresswoman.
I will stomp him. I will stomp him.
Do you think she kind of knew the question?
Of course. I don't know if she knew the question. I know she knows about the poll.
That's scary.
You see that?
The vibe she gave me, she knew about the poll.
That's a little smug.
Rob, is that saying who did the poll?
Yes, it's
What
an
is it telling
argument
you?
Vericite poll. Apparently, the organization was founded in August of this year.
Okay, and found about Jerusalem Damas. Who is Jerusalem Damas? Tyler Cohen, is that a left guy or a right guy? Who's Tyler Cohen? Who's Susan, including left, center, central liberal leanings? I don't know these names.
Rachel Pritzker is in there.
Okay, so it's a leftist. It's a leftist.
It's people that really don't like the country.
All right, so it's a leftist idea. So, Vinny, where are you at with this?
Well, poll aside, I'm just listen. This Mamdani effect and all this movement. That's the future of the Democratic Party. It's socialism. It's communism. It's promising young people free stuff that they're never going to get. That they're going to pay for it. And I think, and it's a real thing, real serious thing that people need to worry about. And that's why I'm pro. Like, the mission should be us. And I take a little, like, it bothers me that a lot of people are like, the influencers are going to take that. You know what people need to be doing? How about all those Republicans and all those races and everything? Get your asses out there. Go do your thing. Go grassroots. Do everything, because guess what? Daddy's Trump co-signing isn't as powerful as it used to be. You need to be out there, all these people, because they just think, well, if Trump co-signs for me and says he's behind me, I'm going to win. No. You have to do the work. Get out there and do it. They're doing the work. The AOCs and all these Jasmine Crockett's, that's, to me, it's scary because they're out there and the message is getting out there to these young voters who have no idea. We're all going to see what's going to happen in New York. Give it 2 years when all these fake promises, all this fake socialist, communist stuff is going to happen. They're going to get in, and I keep warning people what's going to happen when the pendulum swings. And these people, by the way, AOC is one of the people that said, what, the world's going to end? She's like, because of climate change, the world's going to be end. So even in her presidency, we're probably all going to be dead in her mind. So I think it's a very, very scary thing that people need to be aware of.
Well, the artillery of the left is the media, and the media has been doing a very consistent job. I'm not going to say good job. They've been very consistent in their attacks on, it's affordability. Now, there's some truth that's in that. But then they're also saying, and the tariffs caused inflation. The tariffs cause inflation. You look at polls right now, people think tariffs cause inflation because the media has been hammering their heads. They actually didn't, but that doesn't matter. So therefore, the anti-Trump undermining at the time where the economy is trying to adjust is working. And the average person is saying, yeah, I do feel the economy. I do feel this. And so now it's showing up right here. And say what you will about Gavin Newsom, but when you see the polling that's this close right now, the Republicans don't have a messaging problem. They have a messaging problem and a policy getting traction problem. Because I think some of the things that the president said on his speech were good and correct, but they need traction and momentum behind that shows up in the hands and pocketbooks of the American people.
Hey, Tom, who was the pollster on this?
This is a left-leaning poll that was just created, The Argument, they call it The Argument, in August of 2025. So this new polling organization was created.
How much credibility do you give this organization?
Moderate.
Okay, I'm at 0, maybe 1%.
I don't think they only found a group of people that went only this way. I think it's very legitimate to get a group of voters that say, are people upset enough at the economy?
You're giving it 0. Okay,
yeah, I'll tell you why.
You're giving 0 credibility. Let me set you up. You're giving 0 credibility to a poll that has AOC head of JD Vance.
Yes.
Go for it.
It was established in August of 2025, so it's about 3 months old. Congratulations in your rookie year, pollsters. We also know how much credibility I give pollsters. I trust Vegas because they have money on the line, not some literal left-wing pollster rag that's coming out there. And shockingly, AOC is beating JD Vance in this one poll within the margin of error. This ain't Gallup. This ain't Pew. This ain't Rasmussen. This ain't YouGov. This isn't even ABC, CBS, NBC. None of it. It's some random media organization that's like, yeah, AOC hypothetically can beat JD Vance. To me, that's absolute BS.
Oh, my God.
AOC is an intellectual lightweight compared to JD Vance. She may have more style. She may have more Twitter followers in the land of eyeballs and an influencer economy. JD Vance is a real dude. I'm not the biggest JD Vance guy, so I'm not here defending JD. But in a debate, full-on hypothetical debate, if they're on stage between the vice president, JD Vance, and AOC on stage, she's going to get her clock cleaned. It's not even going to be close. And just because you're a big booty Latina, they ain't going to help you on this one. So to me, this poll's BS. AOC running for president is BS. Yes, she has influence in the Democratic Party. She has no influence in a greater landscape for the American economy. That's just me. Secondly, Erica Kirk came out during Turning Point and said that she's going to do her best to help get JD Vance elected. We'll see what happens with that. My focus is, let's end the year strong. Let's try to win the midterms so the trans community doesn't make a comeback. And then we can worry about 2028 in 2028. So to me, AOC is a non-starter. We haven't had a representative go from representative to president in the history of America.
God.
And you think it's going to happen with this intellectual lightweight AOC?
What a
Not
pompous
me.
argument you just
Sure,
made.
call me pompous, but I'm right.
No, it's you don't understand. You know how many times you've been wrong, guy? Like you know what a pompous argument that is?
Tell me why it's pompous.
Let me tell you why it's pompous. That is by far the worst argument to have right now in this season.
Explain.
I'll tell you exactly why. Tell me the biggest victory Republicans have had the last 90 days. Go ahead. I'll wait. Go ahead.
What do you mean the biggest victory?
Tell me the biggest Republican victory that they've had in any of the major
You're talking about elections.
Any of the elections. Tell me a big victory they've had.
No, of course, because the pendulum has swung
to what?
Back towards the other party, just like it does every single midterm, every single election.
On day one, when this guy Mamdani came up, did you think he was going to become the mayor of the city? No, you did not. So don't act like you knew Mamdani was going to win or not. None of us did.
No.
Everybody was shocked. And guess what happened? He beat Eric Adams, stepped down.
In liberal New York City.
It does. Oh, okay.
That matters.
Then Miami. After Suarez, what do you want to do? What argument do you want to go with this?
The new. Just because a Democrat gets elected, that doesn't mean they're
first time in 27 years.
Okay, because it's an affordability conversation.
No, but that's the okay. So stay on that.
Okay, there's a difference between a Democrat, a progressive, and an Islamist communist in New York City.
The problem with this is the following. Okay, in the world of competition and winning, chips are not handed out. In the world of competition and winning, do you know who loses? An undefeated New England Patriots going up against a freaking Eli Manning, who nobody would have ever thought was going to win, beats the flipping Patriots.
That
two
helmet
times.
catch.
The helmet catch.
Tyrese.
2 times.
The game shouldn't have been
2
that close.
times. So what's the point here? That should have been the greatest team ever that for the rest of our careers we talk about undefeated. Okay? So the moment, the pompous attitude of the Miami Heat against the Dallas Mavericks making fun of Dirk. He's sick. He's coughing. He whooped your ass single-handedly. The second best player on that team was who? Finley. Dirk beat Miami Heat with Bosh, Wade, and LeBron with a 6-inch vertical leap. He can't even jump. He beat the living crap out of him, won 24 out of 24, I think, free throws, scored 48 points and won the games. Embarrassed those guys. Maybe the worst loss ever. You want to sit here and say less than 1%? If I'm a shot caller in the Republican Party behind the scenes and I no longer do the podcast, every single day I'm sitting there telling them, you guys better get your asses together. You guys better get your asses together. You guys better get your asses together. Stop being so freaking confident and arrogant. Shit's about to get real, okay? There's the victory of the Miami mayor and the victory of the New York City mayor is only validating AOC. It is only validating AOC's policies. These are baby AOC's winning. If I'm AOC's campaign manager, guess what I'm saying? Look what the hell is going on. You know what America's telling you? They want me. They want AOC. And you want to get cocky? No. Listen, as great of an election night 2024 was, while we were celebrating with 2,000 other people here going crazy, if these guys are going to go like this, and this is what the Republican Party is going to be, and you know all the stuff that they got going on, they better get together quickly. This is midterms are around the corner. By the way, midterms gets done. Guess what Trump's going to be doing the last 2 years? Nothing.
Yep.
Nothing. So no, I don't know. My biggest challenge right now is yes, a lot of these policies are creating what? They're making people making money. Hey, we're making money with AI. Hey, we're making money with crypto. Hey, we're making money with this. Hey, we're making money with all this stuff, all these deals that we're doing together. I totally get it. But 2028 is going to come like this. And then what? And the next president, Fox has announced it. Newsom is the next president of the United States. Fox has announced it. A shocking upset. AOC defeats Vance. To think and underestimate that is exactly why they'll lose. And I hope they don't feel the way you just portrayed it right now. You have the right to have your opinion right now. I hope they don't feel that way. Well, I hope they're not sitting there, you know, because don't get me wrong, you know, Trump to me is a once-in-a-lifetime type of guy that came in and won. Take this once-in-a-lifetime type of guy with the thick skin that he has that went and won. Okay, take this guy out. And then so who's next? You think it's going to be an automatic shoo-in? I don't think so. I think it's going to be it's a very different climate they're living in right now. Very different climate they're living in right now. And things can change like this, towards the bad or towards the good, like this. So getting cocky going into midterms in 2028 is practically the dumbest idea conservatives could have going in. It's the wrong move. Never be this cocky. And by the way, Adam, I actually think most of them feel like you right now. I actually think most of them laugh at AOC, saying I'll stomp on him. Never underestimate your opponent. Ever. Never. Ever. I don't care how rich you are. I don't care how powerful you are. I don't care how talented you are. Never, ever underestimate your opponent that's willing to go to all levels to get the job done. And all levels, I mean, is what? Nasty, ugly, manipulative, dark. God first, fear God first, protect the greatest country in the world, keep presenting the values and principles, unify, simplify, multiply. We are not unified right now. There is no unification at Turning Point USA. Is that showing you unification? Nope. It's not to me. That's not showing me unification. The two biggest names that were out there giving a message like that. Now, don't get me wrong. You know, Junior's got to talk. You know, some of the other guys got to talk. You know, some of the other guys that have, you know, certain important roles, they got to talk, and we'll see what they're going to be saying. The synergists haven't spoken yet. The dividers have spoken. I don't put Ben or Tucker as a synergist or a unifier. So, yeah, I don't know. I think I am only. Sometimes you sit there and you think everybody is over-prepared. And you would be amazed how many times people are not over-prepared. All of these guys, like how many meetings you think has been had about unifying the entire party? You think there was a meeting of bringing Ben and Tucker together behind closed doors? I don't know if that happened. You think there was a meeting of Ben and Tucker having a private dinner together with somebody that's a non-existent person, not a front-facing type of person, saying, hey, guys, can we just hash this out? Listen, Tucker, Ben, we're not leaving this room till we hash it out. All the phones outside. Each of you guys gets to bring one security guard in that you trust. And if you want to bring your one person in, you can, but no phones, nothing. Everyone's getting frisked. I don't want anything to be in here. Out. Let's talk. What's going on? No, this is a very weird season. Trust me, I was on the other side. While I was selling the hope 4 years ago, where, hey, it's going to be Trump. You guys are doing this, doing that. Not right now. Right now it's cockiness. And it's extremely disturbing to me and annoying to me when I see this. But
can I respond real
quick?
Of
course.
Well, I agree with you on the cockiness thing. I don't start dancing in the end zone when you're on the 2-yard line. However, I will say this, since you used an NBA reference, and we all know who's more knowledgeable when it comes to NBA of the two of us.
No question.
There's levels to this game. So there's a difference between winning a representative seat, Congress seat, versus a Senate seat, versus becoming a governor of a state, versus becoming the president of the United States. To me, if JD Vance ran against AOC in the Bronx, she'd clean his clock, okay? Because she would win. If they ran for maybe even governor of New York, she'd have a chance. A general election, when the entire country is focused, hyper-focused on what you know, not just style, but substance, to me, she's an intellectual lightweight compared to JD Vance, and she would be exposed. This doesn't mean that she isn't capable of doing her little thing in the Bronx. Respect on that. This also doesn't mean that we should dismiss the fact that 2028 is around the corner and that we do need to basically wake up, or else we're going to get our clock cleaned, the Republican Party, so to speak. But to me, the question was, do you believe this poll of a general election of the Vice President of the United States versus AOC? And my simple answer was, I don't believe it. I don't see it. I'm not being cocky. She could win a representative seat in New York, not a general election against JD Vance. That's my opinion.
Yeah, and if the other side keeps believing that, that's how great empires fall, buddy. There's a reason why one of the greatest CEOs in Silicon Valley wrote a book called Only the Paranoid Survive. And I'm simply telling you, conservatives have zero paranoia right now. They are overly confident, and that's not a good thing.
And when you say that they're overconfident, do you think they're overconfident about what?
Everything.
Winning 2026,
Everything.
winning 2028?
Midterms, everything.
That's not the vibe I'm getting from these people. They should be paranoid.
No,
they just got their asses handed to them this November.
No, they're overly confident. They're overly confident because they're saying comments like you. There's a difference between mayor and New England. There's a
yeah, but that's my opinion. I don't represent the RNC. I don't represent anybody. I represent myself.
Overly.
Who in the RNC is saying we got this?
Overly confident.
I don't hear these people.
Yeah, overly confident. Tom,
let me tell you, these things can change. They are cocky and they are confident. So
who's they though?
The RNC strategists. Look at what they say. Look what people say. They come out and do this. Oh, they say a lot of times exactly what you said. Is it historically accurate to say a representative has never made it to the White House? Yes, but it's also historically accurate to say the economy has been the outside of intense wartime, the economy is the single most deciding factor for U.S. elections. You go take a look. Bush Sr. beat nobody. Beat nothing in a suit in 1988. The economy shifted. In 1992, they were cocky. And by the time the summer got there and Ross Perot was getting traction and an unknown named Bill Clinton was up, it was too late. They lost in 92 on strategy in the midst of the economy. And right now, yesterday, University of Michigan has a highly credible consumer sentiment survey. You know where that is right now? All-time low. So we have an economy issue that's in front of us. Low? The University of Michigan Consumer Sentiment Survey just hit an all-time low. Forget polling, forget strategists. Let's go look at things that have credibility and say, do you think that says that maybe you should be thinking about it? Do you think that says you maybe shouldn't be cocky? Do you think that says that all the things that you would never think would happen might happen? Yes. I think they're staring 1992 right in the face. Well, you know, Reagan to Bush Sr. beat Dukakis, beat nobody. And then 92 comes along, the economy burps, and they're cocky about it, and they got out-strategized. Clinton come out of nowhere. Perot fouled the stream with the third candidate numbers, but they weren't ready for it. They weren't ready for it, and they got beat. And I see history getting ready to repeat, and it worries me because I think there's a country that's here that also is hanging in the balance, not just left-right.
Well, Tom, respect to you. Why do you think they think that the economy is at an all-time low? Are you blaming Trump for that? Or I'm not.
I'm not. But listen, when people go to the ballot box, it's not who they blame; it's how they feel.
Sure.
And it's the independents in the middle. I don't worry about the hard Trump foundation. I don't worry about that. I do worry about the independents in the middle. And guess what? Even the charts that Trump showed, you saw how big those blue bars were, and you saw the red bars were changing. The red bars have to get past the blue bar to get things back to what you were able to afford and buy previously. You have to overcome the inflation effect. 31%, remember that number. Since Biden came into office, the U.S. dollar and spending power for the U.S. citizen has gone down 31%.
Well,
now it's coming up. It's coming up. And all the things that Trump said are true, but that traction's got to come true, and then it'll show up in consumer sentiment, and then they got a shot. You can't be cocky in the face of that.
Well, let me just stay on this affordability economy issue for 1 second. Trump's been president for not even a year yet, okay? It's been 11 months. I believe that he's on the right track to turn the economy around to where we want to be. But let's not dismiss the fact that under Joe Biden, they printed how much money? They let how many illegals into the country? The border thing, that lost my vote completely. Supply and demand. There's 10 million plus illegals in the country.
Adam,
our dollar is being devalued.
Which audience do you think you're speaking to?
But the point is this. You're talking about consumer sentiment as an all-time low because it's the reverberations of what happened in the last 4 years.
That's not how this works, though.
Tell me how it works.
That's not how this works. What percentage of people do you think are watching and know what you just said right now?
Most people are not smart.
No, not most people are not smart. Most people are not following it. Most people are following.
You mean our audience or people in general?
No, not our audience.
Audience
I'm
is
not talking
smarter
about
than
our
most.
audience follows is smarter than most. Yeah.
Yes.
But what I'm saying is the average audience is sitting there. The average voter is like, what you explain to them what consumer sentiment is.
Yeah.
Can you tell me the definition of consumer sentiment?
I just checked.
Yeah. No.
Vinny don't even know how you feel about
national
I know, I'm
mood.
joking.
Where I'm going
facts
with,
don't care about your feelings, Vinny.
Where I'm going with this for you is, this has got nothing to do with Trump. Trump's won. Trump did his part. Moving forward, it's not on Trump. This is no longer a Trump thing. Yeah, Trump can play a role on who he picks as the endorsement and stuff like that, yes. Trump has done more for conservatives and Republicans than any other candidate has done the last 20 years. This is not that conversation, okay? We're not having that conversation. It's the next ones. Now what? What are you going to do? Who's the next ones? Who's rising up to take this, carry the flag to the next phase? That's a concern. They best not get cocky. That's all I'm saying. If you get cocky, you're going to get caught. And do you ever like, I had Buster Douglas on my podcast one time.
The boxer?
Yeah. Do you know who he beat?
Mike Tyson?
He beat Mike Tyson.
Yeah.
Knocked him out.
Do you know nobody in a million years would have thought Buster Douglas going to beat Mike Tyson?
I remember that.
Nobody would have ever thought when that happened. Everybody was shocked right when it took place. His mother had passed away recently, right before the fight, when he won the fight. This is a wrong time to be cocky. This is a wrong time to be cocky. That's all I'm saying. And we'll see. I think Turning Point US is going to play a very important role. You know, Erica's barely getting off what happened to her husband, losing it. And she's still, it's only been 90 days. Mm-hmm. So is she going to drive and do all that stuff? We'll see. We'll see what's going to happen. It's going to be a lot. Remember, here's who you don't have. Mm-hmm. You don't have Elon right now. So you don't know what Elon's going to be doing. Elon's still a wild card. And you forget how big of a role he played. We don't know who the independent runner is going to be in 2028. That's going to be the RFK of 2028. Vinny's got a special announcement that I want Vinny to share with you guys. Go ahead, Vinny.
So, guys, as you guys know, the Faith Over Fear line, we had the Faith Over Fear shirt. We just came out. This just come out. It's live right now. Pat wore this yesterday. It's a Faith Over Fear hat. I'm trying to figure out, do we have the symbol here? We have the cross here, Hebrews 11, 1 on the back.
Rob, can you click on the hat and show the pictures?
Yeah, let everybody see this. Guys, it's embroidered. By the way,
it's sick.
I only wear Yankee hats. Oh, yeah, so I only wear Yankee hats. But, guys, you can see the future looks bright on the bottom. This is stitched. Hebrews 11:11, 11:1, that, and then the cross on the side. Like I said, I only wear Yankee hats. But
it's 3D embroidery.
Yo, no, it's ridiculous. And I just want, this is, every time something like this happens, the hats finally come in, we're at a pivotal place where right now, with everything that's happening with Christians in Nigeria, as you're seeing what's happening in Europe, you're seeing what's happening in Australia, the enemy wants us to be afraid. I don't know if you guys saw this. Australia, France, Germany, they just canceled all their Christmas celebrations, all their freaking New Year's stuff because they're afraid. I'm telling you guys right now, I've said this before. In the Bible, 365 times it says, do not fear, okay? Just have faith. And when it comes to having faith in Christ, there's one story that I want to say, and you know this. In Matthew chapter 20, I think verse 9, or 9, verse 20 to 22, There's Jesus is walking through Galilee, and everybody, he's healing people. People are touching him and grabbing him, and he's just trying to get through the crowd. And there was a woman that had an issue of bleeding for 12 years. They believe it was like a menstrual situation. She says to herself, and this is in scripture, all I have to do is touch the hem of his robe and I'll be healed, okay? So she crawls through this crowd and she just reaches and touches a string that's hanging off Jesus' robe, and he stops in the crowd and he goes, who touched me? All right? And Peter and everybody's like, Jesus, everybody's touching. He goes, no. Who touched me? He said he felt the power leave his body, and he looks, and the woman is on the floor, instantly healed, and she's crying, Pat. And she stands up and she goes, Jesus, you healed me. And he looks at her and goes, I didn't heal you. It was your faith that healed you. Think about that. Think about that.
It's powerful.
Just touching his clothes, and she was healed. And that's belief. And I want to say one last thing. When Jesus was in Nazareth, he was powerless. He couldn't do any miracles. And you know why? He said because it was their disbelief, because they didn't believe. So your faith is what creates the miracles in your life. And I think this hat is that message. And this is letting everybody know, I'm not afraid. We're not afraid. I'm a Christian. I wear it proud, and I want people to know that. And yeah, that's it. And it's live right now.
I love it. And you know, you can go to vtmerch.com, place the order, get the hat, get the shirt, get the shoe. All of those we'll put over there for you. Yesterday, I had these pastors that flew in from Australia, and he said the most powerful line. Two pastors, the guy's from Egypt. His name is Martin Cedro, and his wife Millicent. And he says, when I was a kid, and my dad and I were talking about becoming a pastor one day, he says, my father told us one thing. If you want to be a pastor, you can't fear. If you fear, don't be a pastor. One doesn't go without the other. You have to be very strong about your faith that you have. So for those of you that are comfortable this Christmas season, New Year's season, going into 2026 with faith, put that on, walk around. You'd be amazed how many people stop by and say, hey, man, I'm with you. Hey, man, I'm with you. I love the stories of just winks with people that are, you know, fans of the show, or, you know, they're looking at each other like, man, you're also Future Looks Bright. You're also Faith Over Fear. You're also Valuetainment. Me too. I'm one as well. So go place the order, or 2 or 3, and gift it to some of the people in your community. If you enjoyed this video, you want to watch more videos like this, click here. And if you want to watch the entire podcast, click here.